Shanti. This is the Sakar Murli of 24 of April 2023. Essence. Sweet children, do not be influenced by Maya and thereby act against God's directions. Never have the Father defamed. Question. How is Maya also the Father's helper? Answer. When she sees that some disobey Srimad or that they don't listen to the Father, when some do not follow Srimad, she eats them raw. She slaps them. A sensual person is one who, by having remembrance of the Father, recognizes Maya and doesn't become influenced by her. Song. The heart says thanks to the one who has given it support. Om Shanti. Whose praise did you children hear? That of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul? You children know that you now have to remember such a Father and claim your inheritance of heaven from Him. The Father's orders are, constantly remember me and consider yourself to be a child of mine in the form of a soul. This is your destination. The Father's residence is now only Madhuban. So how can you receive the inheritance from the Father? The more you remember the Father, the more your sins continue to be cut away. And those who continue to remember the Father's inheritance continue to accumulate treasures in their accounts. This is the type of business that the Father teaches you. You have to remember such a Father constantly. If you don't remember Him, Maya throws stones at you. Maya is no less. No matter how much some say they are Baba's children and how much they continue to do subtle or physical service, if they don't know how to have yoga with the Father, they wouldn't be called worthy children. The Father never gets angry with anyone. He never looks at anyone with any other vision. But when He sees that someone's activity is such, He understands that that person is under devilish dictates. Maya completely finishes such souls with just one punch, and then they cause so many obstacles. The sins then accumulated by that person are more than that of someone without knowledge. Some stay close and yet they don't recognize Baba at all. The Father says it is also fixed in the drama that they don't hear even while listening. So what can Baba do? Nowadays, no matter how many blessings you give to human beings or how much you love them, they make themselves into a Bhasmasur, brackets devil who burnt himself, while just sitting there doing nothing. In fact, there is the difference of day and night between the godly community and the devilish community. No one in this world has yoga with the Father. The Father then comes and makes such children belong to the godly community. Among you too, some belong to God and follow His directions, whereas those who don't follow His directions become a burning Bhasmasur and then die. You are becoming deities, the masters of heaven, by following God's directions, whereas others sit on the pyre of lust and burn themselves instead of going to heaven. Baba uplifts you children in such a wise way, but Maya is such that she attacks you in such a way that you become instruments for defaming the Father. Sensible children follow the Father's Srimad at every step. The first of the Father's order is, remember me, your Father from beyond, so that you can be reformed. The daughter Maya eats raw those who don't have yoga with the Father and who don't follow Srimad. Maya is called a daughter because she helps. The Father has come from the Supreme Abode to teach you children and make you become like Narayan from ordinary children, and yet you become disobedient to such a Father. As soon as some go outside, Maya slaps them in such a way that there is then mercy for them. In some cases, the poor mothers and daughters are in bondage. If there is the slightest intoxication of lust, you fall. Poor, innocent, weak mothers are assaulted so much. They are tied in bondage so much. The sins of all of that are accumulated by those people. They experience severe punishment. Don't even ask. Maya knows who the children of the previous cycle are. Those who conquered her and took Baba's side. She too is clever. When she sees that you are disobeying the father, she puts a lock on you. The father knows that you innocent, weak mothers and Kumaris benefit Bharat. The father is very much concerned about the mothers. You children should also be concerned about the mothers. You should not have your own arrogance. The father himself says, salutations to the mothers. You have to be very cautious and not have any dirty activity. Check that you do not perform any wrong actions. The father says, claim your inheritance from the father. You have come here to become deities. There are definitely going to be many obstacles in the establishment of a religion. At the time of Christ, many such people emerged who defamed him. The devilish community killed him. They didn't recognize him. Now churches etc. are built to him, but there is no benefit through that. They belong to Maya and become Tamu Pradhan. No matter where they go, they don't find anything. Day by day, people continue to become even more unhappy and Tamu Pradhan. For instance, when they go to Guru Nanak, what would they receive from him? He would simply say that they have to become pure or remain pure. However, they still remain impure. They simply sing devotional songs to him, and so they don't receive anything. Everything has now become a graveyard. They don't know anything about knowledge at all. Anger is so bad that you make yourself into a bhasmasur with it. Then instead of accumulating, you incur a loss. You come here to make your fortune, or you say that you have come to claim your inheritance of heaven from Baba. Okay, you have to remember the father all the time. You have to follow his Srimad. If you don't, you become as you were. Then you will continue to fall cycle after cycle. You can then never be uplifted. If you make effort now, you can become the most elevated. The Father explains this to you so much. It is also written on the board, World Spiritual University, established by the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. You have to claim the inheritance of the kingdom of heaven from him. If you come here and then leave Baba, others would say perhaps it is not God there that you left him. So many would then have doubtful intellects. Everyone's sin is then accumulated by that one soul. If you don't follow Srimad, how can you become elevated? You cannot be harmed if you follow Srimad. He is the father and also Dharmaraj. Dharmaraj says, but since you commit, you defame me. The laws are very strict. But some children don't understand. You raise your hand saying that you will marry Lakshmi or Narayan, and yet you perform such actions. Don't even ask. As you progress further, this fortress will become such that no impure beings will be able to enter. Now Maya catches hold of many by their noses. That incorporeal father has come and taken these eyes on loan. He sees which one is a first-class child and which one is a thorn. The father explains, children, you have to become the masters of heaven. Why are you not making appropriate effort? Baba is the almighty authority. He comes to enable you to conquer Maya. He says, sweet children, have a little fear of punishment. Become obedient by following Srimad. Have mercy for yourselves. If you do anything under the influence of Maya, you will become like a evil spirit. A special goddess brackets Mother Bhavani who invokes evil spirits is remembered. Some become her heirs and some become evil spirits. All of you are the goddess who give everyone the nectar of knowledge. Faithful children receive blessings from their parents. If they are not faithful, it is better that they live peacefully somewhere far away. Acha, night class, 17 of June 1968. When the sweetest children come here, they understand that they are going to Baba to listen to Baba. When they go to their own centers, they are not sitting in front of Bap Dada. In some places, the Gops brackets brothers run the center. The Murli is easy. Anyone can imbibe it and conduct class. There are also the Brahmin teachers. Baba asks, can anyone read a Murli and then share the essence of that Murli? Some read the Murlis directly. Those who hold the Murlis in their hands and read them out, raise your hands. Those who do not hold the Murlis in their hands but speak the Murli just like that, raise your hands. You should have the Murli in your hands, should you not? Once you have read the Murli, you can then share the essence. Some read the Murli and share it in that way. It is number wise. There are the elephant riders, the horse riders and the infantry. Not everyone studies accurately. Some continue to read and then share the meaning of it by making their own additions. They share interesting examples. Not everyone can explain in this way. The Father is sitting here. The Father says you must not have any doubts in anything. The one Father is telling you everything. In those schools there are many teachers. They teach separately. Here it is the one who is teaching. There is just the one aim and objective. There is no need to ask any questions here. I sit here in the morning and help you children on the pilgrimage of remembrance. It isn't that I remember just you. I remember all the unlimited children. You have to purify the whole world with this remembrance. You are giving your finger to what? The whole world has to be made pure. The Father keeps an eye on all the children. Let all go into peace. He draws everyone's attention. Those who have yoga are able to take this up. The Father would sit in the unlimited. I have come to purify the whole world. I am giving a current to the whole world so that it becomes pure. Those who are in yoga would understand that the Father is now sitting here and teaching us the pilgrimage of remembrance, with which there will be peace in the world. Children are also remembered. When they stay in remembrance, they receive help. There are very few who have remembrance very well. Children who can help are also needed. Godly helpers would have remembrance with faith in their intellects. Your first subject is to become pure. This means that you children become instruments with the Father. You call out to the Father, O purifier, come. What would he do by himself? He would need helpers, would he not? You know that you will make the world peaceful and rule over it. When you have such intellects, your intoxication would then remain high. You children have to change Bharat into heaven. You know that you are establishing your own kingdom with the Father's Srimad and with the power of your yoga. Let there be this intoxication. It is not a question of anything physical. This is spiritual. You children understand that the Father makes you into the masters of the world with this spiritual power. You also understand that Shiv Baba comes and establishes heaven. The world does not even know that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, comes and establishes the new world. They don't know anything about when or how he does this. There is as much truth mentioned in the Gita as a pinch of salt in a sack full of flour. All the rest is all false. The Father comes and tells you the truth. The power of yoga of Bharat is very well known. The Father says Hatha yogis cannot teach Raj Yoga, but nowadays there is a lot of falsehood. There is a lot of imitation in front of the truth. And this is why hardly anyone is able to recognize the truth. It is the Father who comes and teaches us Raj Yoga. The Father says, I come in this way every cycle. You have become theist from atheist. Since even the ancient rishis and munis do not know, how can others have this knowledge? They do not even know the knowledge of the Gita. This Dada also studied it a lot. He now has understanding. You know that this world is Tamo Pradhan. People do not understand at all. Bharat used to be very sensible. The whole play is about Bharat. You children also understand when those of other religions come. You also now understand the incorporeal world and subtle region. Only you Brahmins receive this knowledge. Deities do not need it. You now have knowledge of the whole world. Earlier you belonged to the Sudra clan, then you became Brahma Kumars, and so you give this knowledge with which your deity dynasty is being established. The Father comes and establishes the Brahmin clan, the Sun dynasty and the Moon dynasty. He establishes these at this confluence age. Those of other religions do not establish a dynasty immediately. They are not called gurus. The Father himself comes and establishes a religion. The Father says you now have to concern on your heads to remember the Father, for you repeatedly forget. You have to make effort and also continue with your businesses. You also continue to have remembrance in order to become healthy. The Father enables you to earn an income with great force. Here you have to forget everything. We souls are going, we are made to practice this. When you are eating, is it that you cannot remember the Father? When you are sewing clothes, let your intellects be in yoga with the Father. You have to remove the rubbish. Baba says you may do everything for the livelihood of your body. It is very easy. You understand that the cycle of 84 births is now being completed. The Father has now come to teach you Raj Yoga. The history and geography of the world is now being repeated, just as it was repeated a cycle ago. Only the Father explains the secrets of repetition to you. It is said the world repeats. They speak of one God and one religion. There would only be peace there. That is an undivided kingdom. Duality means a devilish kingdom. Those are deities and these are devils. There is a play about a devilish kingdom and a divine kingdom in Bharat alone. Bharat used to have the original eternal deity religion. That was a pure family path. The Father comes and establishes that pure family path once again. We were deities and then our degrees continue to reduce. We then went into the Sudra dynasty. The Father teaches in the same way as teachers teach, and the students listen to him. Good students pay full attention, they do not miss anything. This study has to be studied regularly. One must not be absent in such a godly university. Baba continues to tell you deep things. Acha, good night. Namaste to the spiritual children. Spiritual children says namaste to the spiritual father. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children says namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for dharana. Number 1. Be obedient and faithful to the father and become worthy of receiving blessings. Do not be disobedient in any way. Second, never perform any wrong actions and thereby cross out your fortune. Do not become a bhasmasur. Be concerned about being punished by Dharmaraj. Blessing. May you sit the comforter of hearts in your heart as an easy yogi and become an image that attracts. To give your heart to the comforter of hearts means to sit him in your heart. This is called easy yoga. Wherever your heart goes, your head (intellect) will also go to that one. You have given your heart and your head, that is your awareness, thoughts and powers, to the Father. Therefore you belong to the Father with your mind, words and actions. And so there is no margin for any type of thoughts to come or for any type of attraction elsewhere. Dreams also come on this basis. When you have said everything is yours, then there cannot be any other attraction. You will then easily become an image that attracts all. Slogan. When you have deep love in your heart for the Father and the Divine Family, you continue to have success. Slogan. When you have deep love in your heart for the Father and the Divine Family, you continue to have success. Om Shanti.